A blank canvas is one of the most exciting things for me to look at.
You can put, literally anything can go on it that is in your head. And the fun part for me is to try to find out what's in my head.
That ended up being Iowa Park, Texas, which is outside of Wichita Falls. So we moved there about 2 weeks or a week after the tornado in '79. That was our introduction to Iowa Park, is driving through devastation and destruction through Wichita Falls. Great place to grow up though, it was great. And graduated in '91 and moved to Wichita Falls. It's about 100,000 people. They have a big Air Force base there, which kind of is the lifeblood of it. And went to college, dropped out of college, started a band, recorded 3 albums, toured. All the while painting. My dad was a great illustrator. I always drew as a kid, but didn't really paint, but started to teach myself acrylic paint when I was about 19 or 20, and I've never stopped.
In the mid 80s or late 80s, the hippie generation Hollywood was selling that to me.
Something happening here, but what it is ain't exactly clear.
So Vietnam movies were coming out and all this stuff. This is why I listened to Buffalo. Why would a kid in North Texas be listening to For What It's Worth about Buffalo Springfield in like '89? It's weird.
Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
I wasn't so crazy about the hippies, but the hippies introduced me to the beatniks. Fell in love with Jack Kerouac, Ferlinghetti, and Ginsberg. I was more into Burroughs. I was more interested in that culture, but Kerouac was my gateway drug into abstract expressionism, which is what I obsessed on. So the first time I saw a Jackson Pollock painting, I wanted to. It gut punched me, and I wanted to know why. I wanted to understand why I liked it. And there's something to be said for being impacted by something and just internalizing it and walking away and carrying that with you. But I wanted to deconstruct it. I wanted to understand who he was, how he found that. You just don't start doing that style. And that was fascinating to me. So you start painting and you're mimicking people that you admire, and you don't have your own voice, so you're copying in a way. So I started reading books about it, just self-educating myself on all of it. Went to as many galleries I could, traveled overseas, and went to the Tate was a big mecca for me.
Gorky is the artist I think that really pulled me in a lot more than any of the other New York abstract expressionists. This is the gut punch. This is the thing that when I had the pleasure of seeing this in London, I just stood in front of it for an hour. I still see things. The more I look at it, things are always kind of popping out. I think I liked, it's warm, the lines are blurred, it's not so rigid, it's kind of fuzzy, it's organic. I mean, there are creatures, there are faces. The color palette was confusing, but I liked it. That one made me want to understand how you do that. How can someone do that? The name of my online store is Appetizing Yummy Art. That line was uttered by Chevy Chase in National Lampoon's Vacation, where he's barreling down the road. Christy Brinkley pulls up beside him. They exchange glances. She speeds off, and he starts to sing a song called Love for Sale. And then he kind of peppers in, trails off, appetizing, yummy love for sale. So that always stuck with me. And it to be, something original that's a little quirky. And I think my art is definitely that. So I think it summed it up. So when the work is completed and I stand back and absorb it and take it in, emotion is not far behind from that. A joy, the satisfaction of completion of a work that you can easily validate. I want you to have that as well. I want you to have that feeling. Art, if that person is drawn to it, then it is a thing of beauty for them. It will beautify their home. It will enhance their living space. They're the proud owner of this original piece of work that they saw beauty in. Or you just like, I have to have that hanging on my wall. Which is that's win-win. Both people win. The artist wins and the person getting the piece wins.